Hey everybody, happy Monday. It's your girl Claudia Jordan, and welcome to Cocktails with the Queens. And speaking of Queens, I'm with my queens, Vivica A. Fox, Lisa Ray.
Hey,
Hey, Lisa Ray, and Selena Johnson. Hey, ladies.
hey,
Hey,
Claudia.
everyone.
Everybody looking as beautiful as always. We have a jam-packed show for everybody tonight. Not only are we dishing about everything trending in the news and on social media, but we're having an early Mother's Day celebration with former cast member of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, our girl Cynthia Bailey, and DJ Envy and his wife Gia Casey will join us to talk about their new book, Real Life, Real Love, Life Lessons in Joy, Pain, and the Magic that holds us together. Ladies, let's get into it. First of all, first and foremost, what are my queens sipping on tonight?
Well, you know, you darling, I'm here, even though I'm in New York City. I still got my Pinot Noir.
That's right. That's right.
Gonna find that at the good old liquor store, huh, Viv? You ain't gonna be without it, girl.
Well, actually, I stopped at the bar downtown, downstairs, and was like, "Hey, can you go and hook me up with that for Cocktails with Queens?" I'm like, "I love y'all show."
Okay.
That
We are
part.
everywhere. Everybody knows about us. That's right.
Yes.
Selena, what you sipping on?
I just have some natural juice. I'm suffering from a migraine today, so gotta take it light, any type of false move. But I did taste Cynthia Bailey's new drink.
Ooh, we're gonna talk about that.
I did taste it. Mhm.
Let's
Right.
get into
Real
it. Yes.
good.
Of course, I still have the tea, and I put this little wooden stick here to make me feel like something a little. You know what I mean?
Spicy.
Like you doing something. Mhm.
I got my peach Bellini. I get out of the red cup. I thought I'd jazz it up and not be ghetto tonight and be classy. And I got out the regular nonsense I'll be up in.
Because you know it's usually about that blue hypnotic for you.
Right.
Hey, Selena, I get migraines too. Except this is not an endorsement, but Excedrin migraine. I carry those everywhere I go, and they knock my migraines out within like 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Migraine. And some caffeine.
I used to do Excedrin migraine, but mine are
Harder.
they're past them. Yeah. So I have a prescription. I have prescription drugs.
Hey, what about the? Have you tried the BC powder with a Pepsi?
Not strong enough.
Wow. I'm
Ask
so
for
sorry.
prescriptions. They last for like days. They're like 3 and 4 days.
Well, if anybody has any, go ahead, Vivica.
I said, I tell her, feel better, Queen.
I will. I mean, unfortunately, I'm used to having them,
Mhm.
but the medication is pretty good. They're very miserable, but I'm good right now because I'm on the medication. But thanks. I'll get through it.
Okay, we're
Yes,
gonna
you
push
will.
through with you.
Migraines and cramps are the worst.
Mm. Well, yeah, that's one thing when you get to a little bit older in life. Guess what? You don't miss those.
I was just about to say the same thing. The words out of my mouth. I was like, I can remember when, but I don't miss it at all.
Okay.
Mine still be kicking my butt like I'm an 18-year-old just in a training bra. Like it's just be strong, like it just started. Okay. Anyway, enough of our personal business and our uteruses. Before we dive into the show, I'd like to send our thoughts and prayers to our very own queen, Vivica, whose aunt passed away last week. Vivica, I know we were talking about it in the chat, our personal chat. How are you feeling tonight?
You know, I'm better. But as I told you, Queens, and I'll make the story very short. My Aunt Catherine, my mother's baby sister, passed away last week. She's from West Point, Mississippi. And Catherine was like a mother to us. Her and her sister were very tight. And that was the one thing we were having our group chat, and I got a little emotional on y'all because I literally had just found out. And one thing I tell you about life is value your moms, value your sisters, because tomorrow's not promised to anyone. And Catherine was a wonderful, strong woman. And thank you so much, Queens, for being there for me and surrounding me with love. And she's going to get buried this Saturday. So we're sending love to the House family in West Point, Mississippi, in honor of my late Aunt Catherine. I love you. God bless you. Rest in power. Rest in paradise, Queen.
Well, we got your back, girlfriend. So anything you need, we got you.
I appreciate that. We're good though. My family, we're all very, very tight. And as a family, it was a hard call to tell my mother that her baby sister had passed away. But the fact that it came from us as a unit made it a little bit easier. But thank you. I really appreciate that, to my queens and also the FOXSOUL family.
Well, with that being said, and honoring people that are here with us, Mother's Day is almost here. So I want to kick things off by talking about the impact that our own moms have made in our very lives. Selena, let's start with you.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a visual. That's why I was waiting to see.
I think there's going to be a visual.
Huh?
I think maybe when
I
you start.
thought, oh, okay. Well, I'll just start.
Okay.
So my mother is Brenda Thompson. We call her Mama Brenda. And my mother is super duper strong. She is a speaker. She is, she is a motivator. She is empowering. She is a leader. My mother's a Leo. Okay. She is a leader, and she is very, very funny, very, very practical. She's got jokes. She's an amazing cook. And my mother was the first Black female police commissioner, in the city of Harvey.
Right.
Yeah.
In the United States, though. So she was the first Black female commissioner in the United States. There had not been one until her. But it was she was the police commissioner in the city of Harvey. And she did that when my dad was on the road and an entertainer and taking care of 3 girls. So,
Wow.
I look up to my mother in terms of her strength and her tenacity. My mother is very resilient. She's witty. She's a lot of great things. She's giving, always trying to give somebody some, always trying to buy her some. And then the following year, she'd be like, look here, girl, you want to get this? You want to take this? She'll go to the store and buy stuff just to give it away. She's a very giving person. So, my mom's amazing. We're all very tight, very close, my mom and my 3 sisters. So happy Mother's Day to my mother. I love you. You're an awesome, awesome woman. And, there's not a woman that I know that has gone through as much as she has and is still popping and kicking, still watch Love and Hip Hop, still know all the trends. She watched this show, she know all the shows, she know everything that's going on, like still very sharp. So happy Mother's Day to my mom. I love you with all my heart.
Love it. Very sweet. Very sweet. Very nice to hear that about your mom. Lisa Ray, let's go to you next.
I think that we all going to have something in common here, that our moms are strong. It's something about those old school women that they done been through what they've been through. They've lived to tell it. They've lived to be able to tell us some experience and stuff that they went through, so they can tell us, don't you do that no more. I need you to be bigger and better than I was. And you like, oh, okay. My mom too is a Leo and very strong. And she was behind my strong father. That's my mother at the top. That's Kai in the middle and me at the bottom. And I have had my mom with me the whole entire time since I've been in LA. She supported me, But when I think about my mother, I think about I'm really her now, because my mother entertained outside of my father having his meetings and stuff. I remember being so many people at the house and her cooking, and she's a Mississippi woman. So she's used to putting her foot in the pot and her hand and the elbow. So I definitely know I got that from her. She loved to entertain. She loved to be able to be around people. And I think that's where I got it from. I'm just a people person, and I'm loving the fact that we are absolutely paying homage to our mothers and all the mothers out there, because sometimes when they work our nerves, and I say that because you guys in the world knows that, my mother and I have had some problems, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, but recently we have been going through it. And I have to remember just how much she's gone through for me and the family, which allows me to be and have more patience now, because just like the Bible says, once an adult, twice a child. And so she's getting to that age now where I am now being able to show her, I can take care of you just like you took care of me. I had to wrap my head around that. And it took me a minute to be able to do so. I am all the way there now, because when I look at my mom now and she's older, she's not moving as fast as she used to. She's not thinking on top of her game the way she used to. And she's not supposed to, because she's older and the things that she's gone through. So I want to say thank you to my mother. I want to say thank you for being strong and showing me how real kick-ass women do it. And I'm a chip off the old block of her and my father. So, Mom, happy Mother's Day. I love you from the beginning and to the end, and to the back, to the back, to the middle and around again. I'm going to love you to the end 100%.
Come on now.
Mama love. There you go.
Okay.
Very nice. Very nice.
Don't give you a jingle, okay?
Right?
Okay.
And Vivica, last but not, well, second to last, but not least.
Oh, Claudia, why don't you go? Let's hear about your mom, and then I can wrap it all up.
All right. All right. My mother,
Oh, wow.
my mom's name is Teresa. I call her Mother Teresa because she's like that. You know, growing up, I used to see my mom give away so much stuff, money, whatever we had. And we didn't really grow up with much. Once my parents got divorced, it was a struggle. My mother's an immigrant. There's a side-by-side picture of us when she was in her 20s and I was in my 20s. I think. And, you know, she married a Black man in 1971. It had just become legal in 1968. So I just think about how much of a rebel my mother was back then. You know what I mean? Like, you forget, like, she was going up against a lot of people that were not for that. And then us kids in the neighborhoods we grew up in, a lot of times there was a lot of pushback. A lot of neighborhoods didn't want this mixed family, this Black man, this white woman to move into their cities. And they really made it very obvious. You know what I mean? And my mother didn't show the stress that I know she had to have because she left her entire family in Italy to be with my father. And then once they got divorced, she could have gone back to Italy and been with her family, but she stayed because she's like, no, I want you to be close to your family. I want you to know that side. And so I got to give my mom props. Like she's the most selfless woman I know. Give you the shirt off her back, never buys anything for herself ever. Like that lady, I'm like, she's truly here for everybody else. You know what I mean? And I remember, like I said, growing up, I felt like everyone used to take advantage of her. Like I was like, I'll never be like that when I get older. But of course, that's not how it turns out. Yeah. But yeah, I want to give my mom much props for the sacrifices she made when my father, when money wasn't there for my brother in college. I remember finding out later on, my mother actually sold our living room furniture to get books for my brother so he can go to college. I wasn't aware of that till I was like much older. And I'm like, damn, Mom, she never complains. She never tells anyone that. She just makes it happen and found a way. I didn't know our financial situation, but I know my mother on her dime brought us to Italy 6 times so I could know my family over there too. So she's dope. She's everything. I mean, we don't have a lovey-dovey, love you relationship, but she shows it in actions. So shout out to Teresa, Fiore, Jordan, for all that she sacrificed for me. And I wish as an Italian mother, you can cook better, but you're a great cleaner. I'll tell you that.
Claudia, what's your mother's maiden name?
Fiore, flower.
Fiore.
Yeah. Yep. She worked on the Air Force base in Italy, and that's where she met my dad. It's like that movie Red Tails. So yeah. And Vivica Fox, we will end it with you.
Let's get to Evelina Fox House to close it out. This strong woman from West Point, Mississippi. Wow. Who literally almost raised 4 kids by herself. Her and my father separated when I was 4 years old. And I saw Evelina work 2 jobs to make sure that she provided for us until she landed a really good job at Eli Lilly, which is one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in Indianapolis. And let me tell you, this woman ruled with an iron fist. When you guys wonder why I got such a strong personality, why I'm such a worker bee, I got it from that woman right there. She's older right now, but we are making sure that we sacrifice and do everything we can to love her, and make sure that she's comfortable. As Lisa Ray said, you know, our parent in the Bible, it says, once an adult, twice a child. We're going through that chapter where we're making sure that we provide for our mother. We're not putting her anywhere, you know, a way that someone else can take care of her. If the one thing that all of us can show tonight as strong queens is that you guys take care of your mother. Love your mother. This is the one woman that brought you into the world. Do your best if you have your differences, because Evelina gets on my nerves too, like Lisa said her mama does. But I wouldn't be who I am as Vivica Fox without Evelina House Fox. Happy Mother's Day, Mother. More flowers, more all kind of gifts is going to be coming your way this week. I love you. I know it's a tough week for you because your baby sister's gone, but I am proud to be your daughter.
That was very beautiful, Vivica. Actually, all 3 of you, really beautiful stuff. And know what I just noticed, Vivica, I don't know what sign your mom is, but Lisa Ray, Selena, and myself all have Leo mothers. My mom's August 19th. We have Leo mothers. Is your mom a Leo too?
No, can I tell you the craziest part? I'm a Leo. My mama's a Pisces.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? We all have fiery, strong mothers that made us the women that we are. That's why we can sit here every Monday and Cocktails with Queens and deliver like we can because of our moms. And with that being said, we are going to celebrate another amazing mom when we come back after the break. You don't want to miss this. Cynthia Bailey, I would say from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she's doing so much more. Sister Girl is booked and busy since leaving that show. We have a lot to talk about with her when we come back right after the break. With Cocktails with the Queens. Now we're celebrating Mother's Day early with the former star of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Please welcome Cynthia Bailey Hill. Welcome, Cynthia. How you doing?
Queens.
Hey,
So
Hey.
excited to hang out with you guys today. Hi, Lisa. Hey, Selena.
Hey.
Vivica. I just saw Vivica.
Hey.
Vivica and I were on a flight together recently, so I got a chance to catch up with her. And I know I owe you a phone call. Well, you owe me a phone call, Claudia. And
It's
Lisa,
my turn.
you know, we've been trying to get together forever. And Selena, I'll be back in Atlanta on Thursday. So maybe
Girl, I'm going to that little bar you got, the wine. I've been trying to get down to the wine bar, girl.
Actually, something that I want to invite you to. Actually, Mary J. Blige has a new wine, and she's doing something at my wine cellar on Sunday.
Girl, call me because I've been trying to get to that wine bar and Mary and wine. Perfect.
That's what I'm talking about.
goddess. Mhm.
So let's jump into this. Cynthia, do you have any plans for Mother's Day? I know you're super, super busy these days, but do you have any plans, anything special for Mother's Day?
Yes, I do. I am in California. I'm actually going back to Atlanta for the first time in months, to be honest with you. This next chapter has been really next level for me. I've been super, super busy working. So my husband, Mike, and I, we're actually going to Atlanta, and we're going to put a dinner together at the wine cellar, actually have it catered and have all our moms and all of our family come, because I haven't seen, you know, my family in some months now. So we're just going to all get together and eat and drink and be merry.
I got to tell you,
you're not on the Housewives anymore, and you've ventured out to something new, but you have a new business venture. And so I want you to tell us all about it.
Okay. All right. Well, which one are we talking about? My Seagram's Escapes?
All that you can get in these couple
Mama's
minutes.
been hustling. Okay. Well, one of the things, in the spirit of Mother's Day, I definitely want to always show appreciation to this amazing partnership with this amazing group of women from Seagram's Escapes. Today, I'm drinking my delicious Mimosa in the spirit of Mother's Day, which is super, super easy. SeagramsEscapes.com has tons of delicious recipes, but this is one of my favorites because basically you can pick out any Seagram's Escapes flavor and add sparkling wine to it. That's it. And I put in some blueberries. You can put strawberries, pineapple, whatever you want to do. And it's super easy. I loved hearing you guys' stories about your moms. It's so true that, you know, it's just so interesting, like how you women became to be. So I salute all of you because you guys are doing your thing, and our mom. So here's to the Mimosa, Seagram's Escapes.
Hello. Hello.
Cynthia, I love your mother, and her and I have become quite the Instagram friends. She sends me DMs all the time. I'm like, oh my God, she's so supportive. Like, I love your mother.
She thinks that you're her friend. She loves you.
I can be her bonus daughter. Tell her that.
Yes.
Well, Cynthia, I have to tell you, I am just enamored by you. I absolutely love, first of all, you're the sweetest, nicest human in America. That's first of all, you're so kind, but the fact that you're so resilient and you're so multifaceted, I think that it's awesome that you have all of these thriving businesses. So just kudos to you. But girlfriend,
yes,
you are a mom and a wife. How on God's green earth are you juggling all of these different entities and finding time for yourself? So how do you find time for Cynthia? You know, because you are a mom too. So how do you find time for Cynthia with all of these things going on?
Okay. You know what? I love this question, and I get asked it a lot. You know, it's not easy. There's no one answer. I can definitely say that, you know, for some of you ladies who talked about, you know, your mom's making all these different sacrifices. I think, you know, when you are an entrepreneur and a mom and a wife, you know, you have to make sacrifices. So when I'm busy, you know, I got to let everybody know, now listen, mom got to go get this check. Now I have to focus for a couple of weeks. But when I'm done, we're going on vacation. We're going to spend some quality time together. So I have to delegate when I'm slow, when things are kind of like slow for me, which I don't like being a boss. But when they are, then I put my energy into my kids and into my husband. I'm like, hey, looks like the next couple of weeks is not going to be that busy. Let's, you know, let's do something together or just be together. I think there's something so powerful about just not doing anything, but just being present and just really being in the same room, in the same space. I actually was just at my daughter Noelle's house at her apartment, the other day, her allergies or whatever. And she was like, I don't know if you want to come. I'm not feeling that great. I'm like, girl, I'm your mom. I don't care. I'm coming to your house and I'm going to make sure you have your tissues and some soup. And I'm going to do what a mom does. Like you probably need some Gatorade or some Pedialyte or whatever it is you need. And I just was so happy just to be with her, just being like coughing and sneezing and being a mess, because that's what moms do.
I love that. Well, I want to let everybody know that you, I, and Lisa Ray was in Jaheim's wonderful video.
Yes.
Ain't a factor.
Killed it.
Killed that. And, we know that you were on The Housewives for a very, very long time.
11 years.
Yes, 11 years. You put your stamp on that franchise. And you know how I feel. I mean, I just feel like you were too classy for it anyway. But I've been asked by our FOXSOUL folks to ask, would you ever go back and try to reclaim your peach?
My experience with Housewives was, my own experience. It was actually very positive for me. I did what I could do on the show. I brought Cynthia Bailey. I really didn't go too hard or cross lines or boundaries that I didn't feel comfortable. So I really feel like I left the show in a great space. I have a great relationship with the network and with ladies on the show and with myself. However, to answer your question, I never say never, but I will definitely say I am so excited about my next chapter and just moving on and doing some different things. There's so many different layers to me that you guys never would ever get to see on an ensemble show like that. So I'm just excited to just kind of stretch out and just take a break. Now, if I wake up 2 years from now, if the show is still going, and if that's what I feel like doing, I would never say never, because again, I'm here with you guys. That show made me a household name. The Real Housewives of Atlanta is the reason why I'm able to leverage my platform and have all these opportunities come to me. So I'm forever humbled and grateful that I got to be a part of it for as long as I did.
Yes.
So Cynthia, anyone that follows you on social media, I do. I'm always putting flames and hearts and thumbs up. I'm so proud of you. I mean, you've been on so many film sets and ads, and you got product lines. It seems like you're more busy now than ever. What's next for you?
Oh, wow. Well, let's see. I'm very excited that Mary J. Blige is coming to the wine cellar on Friday. So I can't get to Atlanta fast enough. So that's super exciting. My CB Bora bag line, we actually we're going to be popping up in the Beverly Center for about 4 months. And I think, Lisa, you did, you worked with them as well.
Cynthia, if you keep calling me Lisa,
oh my God.
Okay.
Lisa Ray. I said Lisa Ray.
That was it. I heard it.
Okay. I'm sorry. Apologies, Queen. Lisa Ray. I think I saw that you did something with the Beverly Center as well. One of your amazing products. I can't remember exactly, but I know I saw something amazing that you were doing. So I do have my CB Bora line coming up there. I'm super excited about that. And I also just I have an amazing collaboration that I'm doing with Neela Bags, which I've been posting about like crazy. So I would love to talk to you guys about sending you guys some product.
I'll take it. I saw that yellow one. I want a yellow one.
Okay. I saw you in my comments, because so I definitely, always appreciate from one queen to all you queens, the support that I know that, how you guys support each other and how we support each other. So
we'll definitely be sending you all of our addresses tomorrow morning.
Oh, you guys are gonna love the stuff. It's really beautiful.
Of course.
I still rock the candles, honey. I live for the Cynthia Bailey products, honey. You're not ready.
You know what it is? Like for me, I try to, put out quality stuff, and I really try to put out something that it really is organic, something that I would wear, something that really something that I care about. And I'm like, a woman of a certain age, and I really like to, represent us, that 45 and up, like that woman.
Okay.
So
and you absolutely do, Cynthia, because you know what? You're trustworthy. You know what I mean? Your history speaks towards that. Even when you was on the Housewives, you were right. You showed up as you, and you weren't with the the BS. You know what I mean? You were like, hey, I see it. You know what I mean? And I'm in it, but I'm not of it. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. And you come from fashion. So you're a fashionista. You know what's good quality. You've been there, done that. So when you are giving and showcasing something, we're listening and we're wanting, like Vivica said, I want mine.
Every reality, before we go, I know we got to wrap, but I think every successful reality show and what they don't do, I think they need a Cynthia Bailey type to bring some level of class, normalcy, and aspiration to the show, where it's not just who can cuss out who the best or read someone down, although she can. Let's be very clear. But I love that she's showing young Black girls watching the show and white girls that we are not one-dimensional, we are not monolithic, and we can actually represent like this. And I love how you carried yourself, Cynthia Bailey. So we wish you the best. We wish you a happy Mother's Day. We will support your line. We want everyone to support your lines, multiple lines. And we are proud of you, Cynthia. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I love you guys.
Bye. See you soon, neighbor.
Yes.
That's right. And don't go anywhere, because DJ Envy and his wife, Gia Casey, are coming up next to talk about their marriage and their book, Real Life, Real Love, Life Lessons on Joy, Pain, and the Magic That Holds Us Together. Stick around for that in the show, and we'll be right back. Back with Cocktails with the Queens. Now our next guests are here to discuss the trials and tribulations they've gone through in their relationship and their new book, where they talk about how they rekindle their love. Please welcome DJ Envy and his wife, Gia Casey. How y'all doing today?
Yay. How are you?
Good. Thank you for being with us. I mean, y'all have an interesting story. We see y'all all the time, and I'm glad we get to talk to both of y'all. But out the gate, this is a Mother's Day themed show. Again, how do you plan on celebrating Mother's Day, and what do you hope that Envy does for you?
Well, I actually can't answer that, because Mother's Day is always a surprise from.
Ah.
So, truthfully, just a day spent with them would be ideal. It doesn't matter what we're doing. So they never fail.
Very nice. Well, DJ Envy and Gia, let's just jump right into it. You've been together for 27 years.
Woo!
Wow, for 20 years, and have 6 beautiful children together.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's like 3 Hollywood weddings, like marriages. That's super long.
And she's sitting there looking like she ain't had but one.
Right.
I'm like 6.
I'm like, why do I look more haggard than her? And all I got is 2 cats. That's what I want to know. Okay. So I need to know, what inspired you to write your book, Real Life, Real Love, Life Lessons on Joy, Pain, and the Magic That Holds Us Together? And has that been therapeutic for y'all's relationship?
Like you said, we've been together 27 years. So I always say, especially for fellas, we can talk about our favorite basketball player. We could talk about our favorite music. We could talk about anything, but we can't talk about relationships, right? If something's going on in my relationship, my wife is bugging me, or I did something wrong, how can I talk to somebody and ask for advice and not feel funny? Like, for instance, it was all over the internet. For the first 10 years of our relationship together, my wife admitted that she was faking her orgasm. Now, how can I go to one of my friends and ask them that? They would laugh. But I wanted to be clear in writing this book, where we can open these things up and really have real conversations where, we can talk about insecurities and being controlling and some of the things that men do, or even women do, that we can have an open conversation and just start having an open dialogue.
Well, we'll definitely ask you about that later on this interview. We're going to circle back on to that later on this interview. But good, I'm sorry.
I want to ask Gia that, in the book, as DJ Envy said, he said, you guys talk about a lot of things. And one of the things was infidelity. How was that for you to, open up that wound again, to talk about infidelity?
To be honest with you, I don't look at it as a wound any longer.
Okay.
I went through the thorough process of forgiveness. I learned how to forgive after he did the work, and it was a lot of work to back my trust, my grace. But after he did, and we both had our own individual and collective journey with God and spirituality, I learned and was able to execute a process of forgiveness that has benefited me, him, our entire family.
So you felt like the relationship, after you all addressed it, grew from that point? Because a lot of people sweep things up underneath the rug, you know what I mean? And then things happen again. And then, it gets bigger because we have a tendency as women to look the other way and, not address it. Do you felt that helped your relationship to grow?
The fact that it wasn't swept underneath the rug?
Yes.
Well, that is not part of my personality.
I know that's right.
I would never sweep anything under the rug. If he speaks to me crazy, it's a whole issue. If he's impatient or short or quick, or if he yeses me, it's an issue. I don't let much, if anything, slide. And if I do let something slide, it's because I know that he works very hard and sometimes he's tired. But something that has the magnitude of infidelity, I would never sweep it under the rug. So once I found out, it was addressed and went through a very long process of ups, downs, again, spirituality. It led to forgiveness, and we're in a place that I never knew could exist between two human beings. It's not
Let me bring this around to this then, because we talked about this on the show, that you had admitted to, and this is not my question, so I'm gonna intertwine two questions because you spoke of this. You said that it was 10 years that you faked an orgasm. And so for me, I would feel like that's sweeping something under the rug here, because you not only was faking it and lying to your partner, but to yourself as well. And so where do you put that at? Because now as it came around, we know and we see that you all have weathered the storm, but what was that for you?
Well, I wasn't lying to myself because I knew that I wasn't having an orgasm. So I was very well aware, but you have to put it in perspective. I lost my virginity to him after we were together for 1 year. We've been together. I was 15 and he was 16. So when we talk about for 10 years, it is a sensational headline, but for perspective, we're talking about the years between maybe 16 and maybe 25. So
you didn't even know what orgasm was.
As a woman yourself.
Well,
I didn't even know what it was at that time.
I didn't know what it was. I didn't have an orgasm through sexual intercourse. I had orgasms other ways.
Right.
He had other ways that he found that he pleased me, that he was successful. But maybe around, I think the age of 25 was when something happened and I told him.
I think,
my real question,
sensational headline. And it was because they don't read the next part of it was, you said you didn't know your body. And that makes perfect sense because who was really knowing their body at that age and who could even communicate that at the time? And most of us have mostly only had orgasms through, Put that out.
Okay.
It's very hard for most women in general. It's very hard for most women in general to have vaginal orgasms. It's just this is not this is not something that is just unheard of. This happens a lot. A lot of women don't get vaginal. It's hard.
Exactly.
Depends on the G-spot where it's sitting.
I think that you guys are going to give so much information because I can stay right here on this topic right here alone, but it also educates people and let them know it's okay. It's all right. But the second part of my question is that in a recent interview as well, you said that God intervened in you guys' relationship with sending your best friend and R&B singer crooner Tyrese came and they helped you weather this storm. So, how did they help you save your marriage?
Okay. So Rashid, my best friend, he was the only person in our lives that didn't champion our marriage, our relationship altogether. He saw Rashawn's controlling ways and jealous ways as red flags. And in private, he would say to me, this might be something that you want to reconsider. So when I found out about the infidelity and divorce was imminent, it wasn't even on the table. It was assured. I had hired an attorney. I had already paid an attorney. He knew, our family knew, his mother knew, my children knew. We weren't playing any games. We had it was a bad day. Rashawn was struggling with his mental health that day. And it got to a point where he wanted to commit suicide.
Speaking of that, I want to have DJ Envy answer that. Like you just said, you had suicidal thoughts when your beautiful wife was like, I'm done and I'm done for real. What was your mental state right there? Why did you think that you wanted to commit suicide?
And it's crazy because as a kid growing up, when you hear somebody's committing suicide or thinking about it, you think that they're weak, right? You think that they're selfish, you think that they're soft. That's what we were made to think as a child when I was growing up. But then when I got to that point, I understand it's more than that. And that's part of the reason we wrote in the book, to start those conversations. And it was one, I felt like I would be better not here for my wife and for my family because I failed, because I wasn't disciplined. And I didn't want to be here anymore. And I remember going in the garage, I turned on all the cars and I held the garage door so she couldn't get in. And Rashid called her and it just called during that moment and said, what's going on? She told him, so he called me. And I don't even remember. I don't even remember what we said, but he called her back and was like, call the police now. The person I spoke to is not Rashawn. That does not sound like Rashawn. Call the police, came, opened up the garage, and they put me in an ambulance, took me to the hospital. And he's from LA. So he left LA. He's an attorney, came for like 12 days.
Hours after he got off of the phone with Rashawn, he went to his office and said, I need to take an emergency leave of absence. I don't know when I will be back. Literally
That's
went.
A good friend. That's a good friend.
Hopped on a flight, flew here and stayed here for maybe about 12 days. And he's a very, very spiritual person. At the time, he was in theology school as well. And when I asked him why he was here, he told me that God sent him here. And
wow, that's a blessing.
Well,
real talk.
Let's take a quick commercial break. We want to keep you guys on for another segment. I want to ask you a question. You can think about it during the commercial break. I want to ask you guys, you two as a couple, has it helped you or hurt you to confront your issues being in the public eye? Has it been beneficial or more damaging? Because I know sometimes publicly you get forced, right? Let's take a quick commercial break and marinate, and we'll come back with more with these two amazing people when we come back. With the Queens. Before we went to break, we were talking with DJ Envy and his wife Gia Casey, and about their relationship and their transparency. They've got this book. They've gone through a lot of work, doing the work in their relationship. And I want to know if being in the public eye, Envy, you're on the Breakfast Club where, Charlamagne, that's my boy. And, they go and bring up your personal business and you don't really get a break from it being a celebrity, right? You never can really suffer silently because everything's a hot topic. Nothing's off limits. Gia, I want to know, how did this help you or hurt you? Did it force you to confront things that you may not have wanted to, or did it make it worse?
Well, I confronted everything 10 years ago when I found out about the infidelity. And when I found out about it, it was already 2 years old. It had ended 2 years before I found out. So technically I was finding out about old news. And for me, being public about it, speaking about it, writing about it, we talk about it on our podcast. We talk about a lot of marital issues, relationship issues. It's inconsequential to me, the public's perception of it, because we have a very deliberate reason why we share, why we're open, why we're transparent, raw, and vulnerable. And it's to give a reference point to our readers, to anyone that consumes what we have to share. It's so that you can look at it and say, damn, I've been there. Damn, I've felt that way. Damn, my man has hurt me like that, or my woman has spoken to me like that, or whatever it is. And you can see that we navigated our way through it, and then we ended up on the brighter side of it and are happier than we could ever be. So in a sense, it's a way that we want to give people hope. And it's also a way to empower people to own their truths, to own themselves, and to kind of not really care about what people think about you and what people say, because as long as you have that person that is going to ride with you, that loves you, the rest of it doesn't matter.
And like Selena said, we got so many DMs from women saying, wow, I haven't orgasmed either. How did you have that conversation? I'm gonna have that conversation with my husband tonight. Or I got dudes hitting me like, yo, I've been that low. How did you get out of that situation? So we're actually genuinely helping people in their relationships and helping people in life and making it comfortable to have these conversations.
It was very purpose driven.
I really want to commend you guys for this book. I've been married for 16 years. And, I think I'm not saying that it's an excuse, but it's such a great explanation of issues, hard issues in marriages, that the average person would go, oh, I would leave him, or I would leave her, and marriage is not like that. And that's why a lot of our marriages are ending, and a lot of Black marriages end, because no one wants to stick and have the tenacity to stick it out. So I just wanted to commend you and just say that off the top, especially the infidelity part, because everybody be like, oh, I'm leaving, I leave him. But that's never the case when you're in a marriage. But what I want to know, because I have 2 kids, you guys have 6 kids, being in the limelight, and our kids they're always on their phones, they're always in the news, they know everything before we do. How do you have these conversations with them that go viral about their famous parents? And they're not even in these types of relationships yet. They're not even old enough to even understand. So how can you bridge the gap in such intricate, difficult situations and let their immature minds digest this type of information?
We don't have to, because we already have. Just everything that's in the book, my children, our 2 oldest, 20 and 18, are already abreast of. Whenever we've ever gone through issues, we've taken those opportunities to pull them into our room and sit them down and try to share with them the lessons that we've learned from whatever issues we were having at the time. So they're very well aware of our own personal trials and tribulations. They're not going to read this book, and no friend is going to call them up and be like, your dad cheated on your mom? My kids are like, yeah, no, you just found out.
Right.
They're very well aware, and we've taught them as a result of it.
Okay, cool. So they don't get teased, and you don't have to come home like, Mom, such and such said this. What am I supposed to say back to them? I know what happened, but how am I supposed to deal with these kids always saying stuff, about dad?
Kids are mean.
Yeah, kids suck. They're nuts.
I feel such a kindness and a spiritual calmness in you that is resonating through this screen right here. You always hear behind every, strong man, there's a strong woman or whatever, but, it's also that thin line between, just like Selena said, a lot of us will say, oh, I'm not going through that. And, I draw the line when it comes to cheating, and he embarrassed me and whatever. And so it becomes are you like the old school moms that stick in there by any means necessary? Or is it a thin line between, now something got a hold here, and I'm not sweeping this under the rug, so I stop here. It's such a thin line, especially with now, but the decision that you all made that has brought you closer. Not only are we going to read it, but you guys doing these interviews, and I've seen several of your interviews, I can feel it. Okay. And I feel the honesty, and I feel the rawness, and I'm just, hey, let me tell you something, folks just don't make it and don't stick it out here lately. And I just want to say congratulations to you all. It makes me feel good that I even know you all. DJ Envy, bump you, her, that queen right there. Mama, when I tell you we need a lot more of you around, you need to take this on the road and do some seminars, because you really have lived and talked the talk and walking the walk. You can really teach the teach. You know what I mean? Because you've been there, and because you have your beautiful family. And like you said, it's like the Bible says, when a man findeth a wife, he findeth a good thing. You know what I mean? So you guys made it a union to say, hey, I don't care what people think about what we're saying and what we're doing and how we collaborated together, because we had to deal with this inside and with him. And if he all right with it and we all right with it, so are you. You gotta be.
Yes. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. That really I appreciate that from my heart. I appreciate that.
I feel it, girl. I'm telling you. And I'm a crybaby, first of all. But
a little tingly.
I will say, yeah, you seem like you do not play. Like, you seem nice, but you also seem like you do not play. And but you do come off, you don't come off mean. You come off like you're just, you believe what you believe. And Envy, obviously you love her and you respect her, because it takes a lot to put yourself out there and be, what I'm saying, like, be the target of people and their damn opinions. And I commend you guys both, because that's not, listen, we can make jokes, that's not an easy thing to do, to put it all on the table like that and to let people have their say. So we appreciate y'all. I want to encourage everyone to get their book and support them. I want to thank you guys both, DJ Envy and Gia.
Yes, hold that book up. I want to ask who styled y'all for the cover, because y'all Y'all was looking good. I see y'all representing the red and the black.
Okay.
You know?
They sharp now.
I was about to say every interview I've seen her in, she been sharp. And I'm like, I'm peeping her game. I'm peeping her style. I'm gonna make you my friend, girl. You're gonna be my new friend. I'm gonna call
before we wrap, what do y'all want? What do you want people to take away from the book before we go?
Yeah, well, first of all, she styles herself. She does her own makeup. She does her own hair. She does her own ish.
Ooh, child, I know you happy about that.
But it takes about 4 hours though. But other than that, she does herself. But I just want people to hopefully get a better understanding of what love means. Like I tell all the time, you know, it's easy to say I love you or I love my girl, I love my man, but do we know the true definition of what love means? Like if you love somebody, you don't want to lie, you don't want to cheat, you still have those butterflies, you know, and that's what the meaning of love. I didn't know the definition of love, but thank God I found out, and I still have my baby here that I can love up on all night long.
Hey, before you guys go, please let everyone know where your book is available and in what formats real quick.
Well, you can pick up the book, Barnes & Noble's, Amazon, Audible, Kindle. It's a national bestseller right now, so please pick it up. We're super duper excited.
Yes.
And we're asking anybody, when you read the book, leave a comment. We would love to hear what you think about the book.
Leave a review on Amazon, because I'm reading all of those.
Yes.
Are you guys also available on audio?
Yes.
Yes.
On Audible.
Yes.
Yep,
you
absolutely.
can find our book on audible.com or on Amazon. The audiobook is available there as well.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And we encourage everyone to support you. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with a little bit of hot topics when we return. Welcome back to Cocktails with the Queens. Well, everyone, we have reached the part of the show where we talk about our own relationships, the challenges we have faced in our lives, and how we overcame them. Please welcome our queendom. All right, ladies, tonight's topic will focus on whether a toxic woman can destroy a good man. I know it was inspired by a repost by Erykah Badu that says, toxic women destroy good men too, but we barely talk about that. How do you ladies feel about Erykah reposted? Selena, go to you first.
Absolutely. I think a toxic anybody can spoil a toxic any damn body. You know, you put a spoiled apple in a bunch of spoiled apples, it's gonna spoil all the apples down to the bunch. So I mean, that's a classic. We don't talk about it because we're always so focused and concentrated, you know, on what men do to women. You know, that's the classic, men who hurt women, you know.
Yeah.
But the truth is, hurt people hurt people. So if there's a hurt woman, and she hasn't resolved those issues or healed from those past hurts, guess what she gonna do? Bring that hurt into the relationship and then hurt that man. Then there are women who are just controlling, have takeover spirits and feel like they should control and take over that man, you know? Mm-hmm. And if that man is not really sure of himself, you know, he will fall into that. But that's cool. I mean, it'd be good if the woman is a good time, you know, but if she's a toxic woman, and she has that type of personality trait, then what will happen is she'll start to take on those same type of personality traits or cater to her. Then there's the woman that fake sad all the time, uses sympathy to control men. You know, a lot of times women will use control in relationships so that they won't get hurt as a protective measure. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like a man, you know, if I can control the way that he behaves, then he won't cheat on me or he won't, you know, be mean to me or whatever the case may be. So absolutely. I think there are so many instances where a woman can be in a relationship and control a man. And, you know, I mean, not control a man, a toxic woman can destroy a good man. You know, she could, yeah, no, go. Yeah.
Okay. We only have 2 minutes. I want to get everyone's take. What do you think on? Now, you said some dope shit.
You keep picking me first. You know, I got a lot to say.
I think that recently what we have seen in the public eye of two very strong men, where we have seen toxic women, you know, almost kind of destroy their images. The recent trial with Johnny Depp, where here's Mr. You know, Jack Sparrow, who we thought was like, you know, all this bag was just, you know, the most powerful guy, that it basically destroyed his career. He got dropped from big movies and things like that. But finally, he found the courage to say, hey, it happened to me. This woman who I was only with for 15 months, That's what killed me about the whole story, that they only did 15 months and you saw how toxic it was, that it's okay for men to say, hey, I'm in a relationship with a very toxic woman. And then, you know, we can go back to what everyone is claiming, what happened with the Oscar slap. So that's my take on it, that I absolutely believe a toxic woman can destroy a toxic man.
And it doesn't get any more toxic than a heifer shatting in your bed. And on that note, Lisa Ray, thoughts on
I think I do know a little something about that from her, you know, past with Outkast. They sent, you know, that song, Sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh. So it wasn't just maybe just her, it was her mama. Go on and get you and your mama and go on, is what he said. So okay. I absolutely believe in that. And I like the fact that we flipped it and talk about it in this manner, in this way, because that's true. You know what I mean? Toxicity doesn't just ain't one-sided. It comes from the women as well, because I've had young men come to me and say, I never was like this. She made me like this. And, and I get that. And it's like, whoa, wow. Because then you feel like she's punking me, or I have to stand up for myself because she's going to run all over me, or for whatever reason, you got to change and stand up. But yeah, I believe that can happen.
I hate that the toxic people seem to get with the good people and ruin them, and then turn them into toxic people. And it's just like the cycle. And it's like, I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg, but I hate that happens. And it seems like, why can't two toxic mofos get together and then they can go ruin each other's lives, and us good people be together
one
and not be toxic?
Be bigger than the other. That's what happened. And then one out counts the other.
Out toxic. Out toxic the other.
Well, we're not toxic, ladies. I want to thank Lisa Ray, Selena Johnson, Vivica A. Fox, and special thanks to Cynthia Bailey, DJ Envy, and Gia Casey for joining us tonight. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Stay tuned for the Pulse. And ladies, have a happy Mother's Day.
Thank
you.